started with a sickly sweet smell, the kind that makes your stomach twist. I was just hiking, minding my business, when I pulled back some brush and saw it. His body, swollen, rotting, staring. I thought calling the cops would end the nightmare. I was wrong. That was only the beginning. You've ever experienced something you couldn't explain, something that haunts you long after it ends? Then you'll understand why this story still keeps me awake at night. Hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in for a real-life horror story that blurs the line between guilt, grief, and something darker. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had taken the trail less traveled, not out of adventure, but out of routine. These woods were my escape. I used to hike there every weekend to clear my head, to escape the noise of my job, my failing relationship, and the nagging feeling that my life was going nowhere. It was unusually still that day. No bird song, no breeze, just silence. And then, the smell. It hit me like a wall, thick, sweet, rancid, a syrupy rot that clung to the back of my throat and made my eyes water. Something inside me screamed to turn around. But I didn't. I pushed aside some thick undergrowth, curiosity, ego, who knows. And there he was. A body, bloated and discolored, greenish black and glistening in the sun. His clothes were soaked with fluids that had leaked and pooled beneath him. Flies buzzed and writhed across his face, or what was left of it. His eyes were open, empty, and for a second I swear they met mine. I called the police immediately. Reception was weak, but I managed to get through. They told me to stay with the body until they arrived. Easier said than done. I paced for the first few minutes, trying not to look at him, trying not to vomit. But as time dragged on, and the sun dipped behind the trees, I realized I wasn't just standing next to a corpse. I was sitting with it, alone, in the dark, in the middle of nowhere. And that's when I started hearing things. It began as a whisper, indecipherable. Just wind, I told myself. But then came the crunch of leaves, as if something or someone was walking circles around me. And the smell didn't fade. If anything, it got stronger, like it was crawling into me. I must have sat there for hours before the flashing red and blue lights finally broke through the trees. But the damage had been done. They told me later he'd taken his own life. No signs of foul play. A note in his pocket, soaked and barely legible. Something about failure, loneliness, wanting it all to stop. I wish I had never read it, because that night, he visited me. In my dream, I was back in the woods, but this time, I was lying in his place, cold, motionless, watching him stare down at me. His voice was hoarse and wet, like it came from waterlogged lungs. "You shouldn't have disturbed me,"